Everyone, I'm Emmanuel Degar, working for Trace TV. We are French broadcasters, and the goal of this presentation is to present famous open source projects and how we use it in a broadcast environment. So Trace is a bunch of different kind of channels. We have 4Play TV, linear music channels, sports entertainment channels. We have one radio station FM, and just since now we have one R&T radio station. So we deal with 19 feeds, all produced and broadcast from Paris, and broadcasted in 160 countries over 38 satellites. So in my team, there's Roman Lane, who is a technical broadcast manager, and Jeremy Diepe, who is here with us today, who is a technical and development manager. There are 4 other people working with us. We have in our computer room 70 servers to monitor and maintain, provided by 20 different constructors. We have hundreds of clients over each time zone. So for us, daytime doesn't really mean anything. It is daytime for one of our clients all the time. And no one in the technical team is working on site at night or during the weekends. So how to proceed? Some dramatic effects. I don't have the sound. Oh, sorry. Okay, I will speak louder now. Okay. So first implementation of an open source project is Nagios. It is, if I remember correctly, the very first project we implement. This is really the key for us to sleep. So as you can see on this graphic here, you have all the different servers and equipment we have, all the different playout servers, the different automation servers, the different graphic servers, the encoders, the mixing equipment. All of them are in the Nagios graphic, in this graphic interface here. Basically, when I first implemented the version 3.3.1, it was very for this graphic view at first, because if it was red, something went wrong, and any of our technicians could easily understand what the problem was. And we had some basic send mail warnings which were configured. So basically, this is really important for us because any of our technicians, and we have even some people at Trace who are not even technicians but who are working on call, can understand what's wrong even if they're not technician, because basically you know exactly this has crashed, I need to reboot this server, and you may not even understand what are the interaction between the different servers, and you may be in an operational context, it may work. All the scripts I first wrote were Perl, and it is, I think, really simple to implement as I'm not a really good coder. These scripts were mainly designed to read some log files and recognize some patterns, warning, errors, and then do some conditional logics to know if it is important or not to return to the operator who is on call. But then the project has evolved. Now Jeremy is in charge of evolving it. So now we stopped the email warnings and we're working directly with SNMP traps directly from the different broadcast equipments. So it is much more precise and convenient, and we go further in the diagnostics. Sorry. So basically now we receive on our phone, often in the middle of the night, I don't know why, or during our birthdays, or all these weird days where everything crashes. And we receive precise message which says directly which equipment crashes, what kind of problem. Is it a hardware problem related to, like let's say you see a consumption is to 100%, or the system is off, but we can monitor through some application, or if they crashed. And what we are working on right now on this environment is to send to via SNMP orders, or to what we do right now is we have changeover equipment, SDI changeovers, which are manufactured by Nevion, which is a Swedish company, and we can so the principle of this changeover is to switch to some loop in case of we have a problem on our main signal, and now we can directly send an SNMP trap to switch directly in when we acknowledge the issue, it will directly switch to the main feed when the problem is solved, which saves a lot of time, especially when you're doing everything remotely on a VPN in the middle of the night. You just acknowledge the problem and you switch the signal from backup to the main signal or the opposite. And this has been more developed too, the tactical view, which is much more just a bunch of a list of alerts or warning, but it is much more easy to deal with. As you can see, our view, this was the view probably last year, and we had more and more equipment, so it started to become a little bit busy over there, and this is much more clear to be redirected to any of the different equipment. So another project we work with is a Google API. This was for the marketing department. It was a requirement for the marketing department because as we have all these clients and always in the middle of the night, like let's say we have a call, I will make it short for you, but like I will have like calling from Indonesia, I have black signal, dot. And of course I don't know by heart all my hundreds of clients. So it is a really easy way to just zoom in, or if you're not too bad in geography, you zoom into the country and you may find your 2 or 3 clients in there. Then we have like some color code to make it more, which clients are more important. I won't say the names. And when we click here, we have like the smart card information, client information, phone numbers, the codec used on the satellite they are receiving. You have all the different uplink station, and you can create like group emails, group contacts, and send an automatically generated email to all of them. Like let's say we know that there's an issue at this uplink station because of child-parent logic. It will send directly to the concerned person the same email saying like we have now an issue on here. We worked too with another project named Redmine. What helped us a lot too, for much more for the on-call management, for its calendar. But as you can see here, we are doing our project management in the Gantt interface there. I think I love this project, and it makes it much more easier. What we do too is we are working this year on establishing our first QoS report, which basically are just some SQL requests directly sent to the MySQL core of Redmine, because as we will report there all the different incidents we have on air during the year, we just then do some SQL requests on some keywords, and we can have how many incidents we have related to transmission, related to crash of some servers, etc., and produce pretty easily some QoS reports. Trace Central, this is much more dedicated to the end user, because when I arrived at Trace 4 years ago, or even 3 years ago, all the person there were still working with a lot of paper, like just for the internal workflow process, to know like verification process, like when we receive media from other content providers, and it was really complicated for them to check the quality of what we receive, of what we send. So basically it's just a really simple form, but the Bootstrap project makes, I think, it is very easy to have this kind of interface all around, because of its variety and how it is resized automatically on the different platforms, iPads, iPhone, etc. It is based on a MongoDB database. I like the idea of just pushing my JSON in this database and get it back. I think it is very simple to use. Okay. Then we created too this web interface for a file converter. It's kind of the same. Many of our people are converting files without even really understanding what SD or HD is. So we just needed like an interface. You throw a file in there and it will say correct, not correct, without even, for someone who doesn't even know what is a video format. and we'll say it's really to have something really user-friendly, and it helps a lot our team. And then the conversion work is done by FFmpeg scripts. We use FFmpeg2 for some RTMP transmission toward Dailymotion. You can stream our live channels directly on Dailymotion, and so basically what we do is like we take directly our UDP multicast IP streams from our encoders. We send it to FFmpeg. We created different bit weights depending what the Dailymotion or YouTube wants. We are working with YouTube now too, and we just push to their RTMP server. And then like all the different stuff which are implemented in the Debian operating system are really helpful. The .desktop scripts. I work too with a program named a very small program named Supervise, which just detect when the application crash and auto-restore the application. And then you can add some lines in the script. So like first it just send a mail to say like the Dailymotion server just crashed, and now we are working for this year to replace this by SNMP traps to be integrated in Nagios as well. I remember I forgot something too, is that a big project that we're working on is merging the Redmine and Nagios environment, because what we would like is, like I said earlier, when in Nagios we acknowledge a problem, we would like it to create automatically the incident in the Redmine. Okay, sorry. So that's the ongoing projects. We are friendly users of open-ended solutions based on Christophe's product. So it helps on many different tasks. The first one is I think we implemented is the recording and sample extraction for OTT, VOD, etc. So our feeds are recorded in 24 hours a day on a server through the open-ended interface. And the open-ended interface provides a very simple way to extract, to scroll the stream which has been broadcasted and extract what we want, which is exactly what the VOD team wants. Or it can help too for legal compliance in France with the CSA. When they say like we want to have an extract of that video clip from yesterday at 6, it is very easy to do. We just implemented, so this is a project on which Romain is working, implemented an IP changeover system, still another open-ended solution. What is very convenient is that, so we switch from the main feed IP stream, we can switch to a local file which is played locally on the server. The switch is very smooth, and we are really happy with it to then contribute to our different data centers. What is convenient too is that the local file which can be directly extracted from the previous application. So because back in the time we had always to ask to the production team to record what happened a couple days ago and then convert it and insert it in the system. There we just move a file, extract it from open-ended, and then it always looks quite recent when we switch toward it. Then we are right now implementing open-ended products too for our internal IPTV network. So you just have a server, the open-ended key, and you basically have some cards to receive TNT, mixing everything with your own UDP multicast streams. Okay, and there is a little sum up of the different projects I just mentioned. I think we can go for questions.
Thank you, Emmanuel. So, are there any questions on the operation of TV, Chinese TV? Yeah.
Have you evaluated how much money you have saved thanks to open source solution compared to commercial traditional solutions?
Evaluated not, but I can say a lot. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes. So the question is if we have evaluated how much money we saved with using open source, and I answer a lot, because just for example, I remember one of the very first At first, it didn't really save money. It saved our life quality as a technician because the first Nagios implementation just helped us to sleep, what was really not possible the first 2 years when I launched the first channels. So yes, this has no value, sleep. And then, I remember that we needed to record the streams for the CSA compliance, and just a recorder provided by any commercial service is like between 5 or 10 grays for one feed. So yes, now with like different open source servers, it's much more convenient, designed for broadcasters, and yes, cheap. And what I like to in all these different servers we have now is like we're buying a bunch of servers, and if they crashes, we can just replace it as it is. Compared to the commercial world, when you have any problem with any commercial server, you just have to wait that they send another one, and it can just be replaced as easily as just buying a Dell or HP server. Yes?
Are you encoding in real time in
X265? So the question is are we encoding real time in X265? We haven't tried yet. I just tried the X265 decoder. I'm mainly interested in the X265 projects to save space because of the bandwidth reduction. This is my main focus for the moment, but archive is central in our projects, much more for the June to December 2015 roadmap. Right now we are working on finalizing this integration between Nagios, Redmine. We're finalizing this at the beginning of this year, and then we will have to save space with our recorded files. So yes, I will definitely consider the X265 project.
What kind of streaming protocols do you use? In particular, do you use multicast? Do you use some adaptive bitrates?
So the question is regarding the different codec we are using. We are using mainly UDP multicast. We are using some RTMP for the Dailymotion platform. And for adaptive streaming, it's an external company who does it for us from the UDP streams. I haven't really looked closely at this question for the moment.
Can you elaborate a bit on scale? You say 70 servers, that doesn't sound too much.
Yes.
Do you have like 200 users or 2 million?
Users? You mean?
And devices?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Because when I mean 70 servers, is like our control room is made of 70 servers, different graphic servers, playout servers for our 19 feeds. And our goal is clearly to decrease this number, working on virtualization now. I consider buying some blades and try the different. I haven't made my choice yet between the different virtualization solution, but yes, it will really help us to decrease the number of servers because we don't have that much space in our offices. So for us, it's already too much 70 servers.
I have a question maybe for you. We have seen lots of distribution aspects here. What about the production platforms, like editing platforms? Do you see it? Have you investigated if there are free open source tools
Yes.
for this? And where do you see where open source is valuable and where maybe it's less at the moment?
For the moment, I remember. I'm sorry if I'm because I'm not sure I remember exactly the names. There is one named Cinderella. Cinderella. I remember that one. And I remember another one, but I'm really sorry, I won't find the name again. I really see the force regarding the production team for the transcoding options for the moment, because this is what we are doing. Like especially when we have to transcode always the same file in the same format, we always implement some FFmpeg scripts here and there. Regarding editing, it seems really complicated to me. I mean, even for our editor team, even for switching from two commercial products from Final Cut toward Avid, it seems already extremely complicated. Yeah, it will, any case, whatever you choose, it will cost a lot of money in training for all the teams, or they may just refuse, and we don't really have, we are kind of tired on that aspect. For the moment, we are only working on Final Cut, but we have issues with MXF on the last version, Final Cut Pro 10. So yes, we are reconsidering the different options, but I haven't made my choice yet.
And what about the handling of the production formats? Because yeah, they have different, sometimes complicated formats.
Yes, but basically we simplified everything as in just working with our ready-to-broadcast files from A to Z. We're working on MXF XDCAM 50 megabits from A to Z. They edit directly on the ready-to-broadcast files, and it's just a different folder and a copy, but we decided to do this. So everything we receive basically go in a watch folder and is being transcoded to MXF XDCAM to be then reused by the editors or whatever OTT application. You're welcome. Yes?
For example, for the FFmpeg on Debian, yeah? If you are using only bare metal servers or you're using virtual ones?
If I understand correctly, the question is, are there experimental FFmpeg servers? Yes and no, but I think like when the owner of my group see how cost effective it is to use FFmpeg, the experimental world just disappear and they consider it in production mode. So yes, it's being used since 3 years now, and I don't reconsider. Debian, sorry?
Yeah, Debian are virtual. I mean virtual operating system of the bare metal.
All our servers are under Debian Wheezy. All of them.
Okay, but in the virtual environment, for example, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all of them.
And we use this little jQuery interface for our end users to access the servers, because we don't really want them to be involved in the server. Yes?
How the clients are transferring the file to you, and how you contain that certain files might contain viruses and also contaminate others.
So it is so the question is how do we protect ourselves from external content, from virus, and
yes, and also how you receive, because
it
it's
is
a large amount of data.
it is really complicated today. Trace main customers and main producers, because we have many offices in different countries, are from South Africa, from Malaysia, and from South America. And for example, in the case of South Africa and Johannesburg, it is extremely expensive to just symmetrical, guaranteed 1 megabytes connection, internet. It is several grand a month, so it's extremely expensive. So in this case, we still are working with hard drives. They send our drives, we send back our drives. We try signants, we tried FTPs. There are many timeouts all the time on the FTP session as soon as we basically leave Europe or the US. So yes, for the moment, the quickest way is still hard drive. And I've heard of an open source project named Catapult, which I would like to try, made by in Latin America, but I don't have more information yet. And to protect from virus, I think the Apple and Linux environment we have, because we don't really have PCs in our facilities, really helps to prevent from a virus expansion. I'm sorry, I hope it really answered your question. Yes, okay.
Just a question also about the licensing. Have you considered the problem of, you use these encoders and normally they are licensed, or how do you deal with this?
What do you mean?
The MPEG license.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not aware.
Okay.
Last one.
Yes.
You just mentioned you are saving a lot of money and operational time.
Yes.
Does your group allow you to actually do distribution and to give back to the community?
For the moment, I think for the moment they just see that there is a value in the open source projects. It took 5 years to just reach that goal. because when I arrived, they just didn't want to hear about it, or I use it in secret. And it's after 2 years of FFmpeg working that they, oh yes, indeed it's interesting. Like first they didn't even want to pay for my train ticket to come here, because I come here every year. Because they really didn't consider the open source. They were ashamed of it. And I remember the three first years, I was not really allowed to do this kind of presentation.
Okay. So yeah, maybe we have to stop here.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, we can ask the question after. So thank you very much, Emmanuel.
You're welcome.
And as the next talk.